When you do that, your unconscious mind opens up and it becomes more present and available. It's a bad thing to worry. It's a good thing to wonder. It's about putting information through into certain compartments in your head before responding. And it's a good thing to wonder because that means you are learning many things, and all the things that you can learn provide you with new insights and new understandings. Anything that implies cause and effect is hypnotic. So that's a little sneak peek into sort of allowing a new way of thinking. In fact, if you think about it, even in your day-to-day lives, the act of observation is very interesting. What impact it has. If there's anything you're measuring or you're observing, you'll notice it behaves very differently to when you're not observing. Now, what we're going to do now is, because we'll go deeper into that tomorrow, but for now, we're going to go back to language, page 213 in the manual. This is hierarchy of ideas, the concept of chunking up and chunking down. And you may or may not remember from practitioner, but on the right side of page 213, there's an example of cars. The word cars is in the middle. If I was to chunk up, if someone told me I have a problem with my car, I could chunk up, well, what is the purpose of the car and transportation? What's the purpose of transportation, movement? I could keep chunking higher. Well, what's the intention of movement? Well, because we exist, we've got to move, and you can chunk up higher. Or it's a problem solving tool, it's a communication tool. Just like the Cartesian coordinates, it's about putting information through into certain compartments in your head before responding. Or if someone said to me, I have a problem with the car, I'll say, well, what specific car is it? And if you look down, it goes, it's a BMW. Well, what type? Pontiac. What's the model? Fiero. What Fiero? GT. Okay, now I may know something about GT, so it can allow me to help better. Or I could say, what part of the car is not working? And the person may say wheels, or what in the wheels, hubcaps, lug nuts. So just a way of thinking. This is called hierarchy. Either you're going up or you're going down. You're getting more specific or you're getting more abstract. This linguistic idea also allows for therapeutic intervention, as we saw with parts integration. But in general, it is also very powerful for you to, when you're meeting with people and talking to someone, asking yourself certain questions like, for what purpose, what's the intention, so you can chunk up. In general, agreement is more possible when you chunk up. And chunk up and high chunk abstract statements are harder to disagree with. And I always use the example of what Barack Obama said, America is in trouble. It needs change that you can believe in. That's why I'll be your next president. Right? America is in trouble. It's almost hard to argue that at any time, especially right now. And it needs change, like pretty high chunk, hard to disagree with. Change that you can believe in. However, if I chunk that down and said America has a problem with the school system, the teachers are not very well qualified, I think we need to get different types of teachers and we need to get teachers out back on retirement. I think there's a lot of people who could disagree. It's very specific. So just reconnecting you back to that and taking you to page 216, one of the language patterns, which is the high chunk language pattern or linguistics that we spoke about, was Milton model. Does anyone use Milton model still since Prague in your general conversation? Amazing. Anyone else? Yeah. So you may be unconsciously using it, but these are high chunk abstract. What Milton Erickson, whose work we draw upon in NLP and hypnosis, who was a medical doctor, he worked with 10 patients a day for 60 years. He realized that he was able to cut down nearly 80 pages of phrases that induce trance down to 19 specific patterns. And these are those 19 patterns. You'll hear us speak a lot like that because these can allow greater access to the unconscious level to give suggestions for change. But they're also all great speakers. You'll find that they use these patterns. It's pretty normal. So you've got 19 over there, mind reading, page 216. When you say to someone, I know you're wondering. Josh, I know you're thinking. Becca, I know you're listening. I'm just mind reading, right? I'm saying it. It has an hypnotic impact. Number 2, loss performative. It's a good thing to wonder. It's a bad thing to worry because it's something is lost here. We don't know who said that. It's very high chunk. Cause and effect. Anything that implies cause and effect is hypnotic. Melissa, if you come here every day, then to the rest of the training, then you will see changes that you haven't seen before. Like, how abstract and high chunk is that, right? There's a cause and effect. If then statements. As you listen to me, you are going to hear many things from me that will help you reconsider how you've been doing things. Notice what's happening to you when I'm saying that. You're probably still trying to make sense of it. When you do that, your unconscious mind opens up and it becomes more present and available, right? And so that in itself provides a ability for hypnosis, which is greater ability to make suggestions. So when you're talking to clients, using more Milton model language patterns is highly recommended. Highly recommended. Complex equivalence, just the use of the two words that means. You're all here at the end of day one. That means you've been listening to me and that means you're ready for what's coming up, aren't you? Very high chunk. Presuppositions, you are learning many things. It's very similar to mind reading, but different. You're all here, you're learning many things. You're doing many things. You're experiencing many things. Like, there is no specificity in that. Is there, Samantha? Like, yeah, it's abstract. Universal quantifier, and all the things, everything that you're learning, the many things that you are thinking right now, all of these things can only mean one thing. You know what that one thing is? Well, I'm not telling you that, right? This is how, have a look at how politicians and people on stages speak. You'll detect this everywhere. There's only 19 of them. They're abstract, they're high chunk, they can induce trance, and they can be used for agreement. Model operators are words that imply possibility or necessity, like that you can learn. Notice when I was getting you to do the eye closure exercising, notice how much more you can relax. As you expand your awareness on both sides of you, notice how much more you can relax. It's just a suggestion allowing you to relax even more. Can, I have to, I must, these are necessity. You can is possibility. Can will, by the way, the word can in itself is very hypnotic. Page 217, nominalizations. When we turn a noun, a verb into a noun, like what I'm teaching you today is providing you with new insights, new understandings, new thinkings, new discoveries. You can write next to it anything, any noun you cannot put in a wheelbarrow is called a nominalization. So you cannot take understandings and put it in a wheelbarrow, right? So I'm just reconnecting you with that because that's gonna, one, I'm gonna use a lot of it, and two, you're gonna just do that a bit more. Number 9 is unspecified verbs. People talk like that. And you can, Chad, you can. Think about it, you can. Jane, and you will. Something is missing, right? The verb is missing. And you will what? So that's called, because your unconscious mind is still looking for that information, making you more open for suggestions. Positive change, right? Tag questions. Again, we use all of this in our normal language anyway. We're becoming conscious with it. Tag question. When you end the statement with a question, you're all listening to me, aren't you? You're thinking about these things, aren't you? You did do the last exercise, didn't you? This didn't you, can't you, aren't you? These are called tag questions. They're also Milton model language pattern and hypnotic. Number 11, one can, you know. One should, you know. That's right. That's the way. These are very high chunk, broad statements, but they don't give you all the information because lack of referential index, we don't know who said it. 12, comparative deletions. When we're comparing, it's more or less the right thing. For better or worse, it's better than that, it's lesser than that. Again, high chunk, not having enough specific information. Number 13, pacing current experience. When you say 3 undeniable facts, it's day one, you're listening to me, you're here on this Zoom session. That means you're getting ready to make some very powerful changes, right? I said 3 undeniable facts. You're here, it's day one, and you're listening to me. 4th thing you say, just like Barack Obama said, America is in trouble, it needs change, change that you can believe in. That's why I'll be your next president. That's a type of a hypnotic pattern. Double binds, when you give 2 choices, do you want to talk now or in 10 minutes? Would you like to make changes now, Sarah, or in 5 minutes from now? Like, it gives the illusion of choice, but both are favorable. Little Johnny, would you like to stack the dishwasher now or before going to bed? Page 218, conversational postulate. It's like a question, but it's like a command in there. Would you feel better if you took action now? So it sounds very gentle and polite and like you're taking permission, right? And extended quotes. People who start talking about one thing and they end up in a different place. Last week I talked to, there's a lady called Rita in Green Valley in Henderson, Nevada, and she was telling me about John and company who ran an event there in the room. And John met 2 people. One was from Denver and one was from Sydney, and they were all planning this new event. And what happened was they all spoke in a group, and they ended up meeting this guy called Adrian. And what a conversation that was. Notice what's happening to you right now. And you know that there's people who actually speak like this. And I'm still trying to figure out what they just said. These are called extended quotes. Number 17, very fancy word, selectional violation, but all it means is when we make non-living things living. A chair can have feelings. The walls have ears. These are all hypnotic. Number 18 is all sorts of ambiguities. Can you hear me here, Josh? Can you hear me here? Right? Two words, same sound, but different meanings, because your unconscious mind is still trying to process that. So those are all ambiguities. And the last one is 19 on page 219. When you utilize whatever a person told you. If Narina said to me, Reg, I'm not getting this, I'm like, that's right. You're not getting this because we haven't got to the part that will have you get this easily and effortlessly right now. All right? I'm utilize what she says. That's right. So there's an example on page 219 of putting all the 9 language patterns together. Now I know everybody that you're wondering, and it's a good thing to wonder because that means you are learning many things, and all the things that you can learn provide you with new insights and new understanding. And you can you not? One can, and it's more or less the right thing, Tahira. You are sitting here, listening to me, looking at me, and that means your unconscious mind is also here and can hear what I say. And since that's the case, you are probably learning more about this and already know more at an unconscious level than you think you do. And it's not right for me to tell him, learn this or learn that. Erica, let him learn in any way he wants, in any order. Do you feel this is something you understand? Because last week I was in with Richard, who told me about his training in 1983 at Denver, and he talked to someone who said, a chair can answer, you can hear that, right? That's putting all the patterns together. So what we're going to do is we're going to be in groups of 5, and from page 2, this was not available at practitioner level, page 220 onwards, you have multiple examples of each language pattern. And all I need you to do, because we're doing an installation so you come ready for next day, is that you're going to, in turns, say one of the lines. You can add some more to it. Like Chad could say, I know you're wondering what's going to happen next. Josh could say, I know you believe. And so you could pick up those and each person says one line from each pattern. Well, you keep going with that pattern until you finish all the lines that are available. Then you move to lost performative. You can say it's page 221. You say it's bad too. The next person will say, that's good. Another person says, that's right. Someone says, that's too bad. And you keep going until they're finished. 3 is cause and effect. Again, use those patterns. You can change them and have a bit of fun with them if you like. You can change the word, like instead of chair, you could say table, if you like. Otherwise, read them as they are until they're finished. And then you keep going with each pattern all the way down to, so page 229, you've got extended quotes. Just make sure you only say one line each until it's finished. And then please stop at pattern 17 on page 230. Don't have to do 18. So you're in a group of 5, and let me show you an example. So it'll be me, Tara, Samantha, Rick, and Veronica. Can you unmute yourselves, please? Okay, one group will have 6 people, that's fine. So I'll start, and then Tara, you follow. After that, Samantha. After that, Rick. After that, Veronica. So Tara, we're all sitting in a group, and I say, I know you're wondering. Tara, take it away.
I know you both.
Good. Samantha?
I know you came here for a purpose.
Rick?
I know how you like that.
Veronica?
I know you enjoy.
All right, it's back to me. I know that you knew that. And so forth and until it's finished. All right? That's what we're going to do now. It's very important we do this before. And you may feel tired, but it's not tiredness. It just means that you're relaxing, and that'll give you a very good sleep as well tonight.